Module 11, Calligraphy in Taglio Printmaking. Apparatus and materials. One mat mount board block size 7 inches into 7 inches, thickness 1 inch. Different types of paper like tissue paper, crepe paper or Japanese rice papers. Cardboard of various thickness. Object which can be glued to plate. Acrylic paints and acrylic textures. Gloss paint and varnish. Palette knives and sponges. Carborundum to print something completely black or any other in color. Other materials can be string, thread, fabric, leaves, peas, rice, and masking tape. Varnish. When the plate is finished, it should be sealed with varnish and left to dry overnight. Drying time will vary depending on temperature. Sandpapers to smoothen the surface. Rubber roller 8 inches. Black printing ink. Inking knife. Inking glass. Paper for printing. Cotton rags and kerosene for cleaning. Sponge and printing machine. Hand gloves. Carefully choose a mat or mount board block, ensuring that the block chosen is cut at right angle of 7 inches into 7 inches in size. The design to be printed has to be the same dimension as the size of the block, that is 7 inches into 7 inches. Prepare several sketches to refine the design. Calligraphy or calligraphy process was invented in 1930 in USA, but officially by Glenn Alps in 1955, raised as the only printmaking process to be developed strictly as a fine art medium. Collograph is a unique printmaking technique where different kinds of materials are applied to a rigid ground or substrate such as a mount board or wood, and printing is carried out of the varying levels of relief generated from the chosen design made. In the strict definition, a relief print is made from a collage of a number of materials such as paper, thread, etc., pasted on a base plate of cardboard, plywood, etc. The origin of the word collography or calligraphy is from the Greek word kol or kola, meaning glue, and graph, meaning the activity of drawing. The beauty of these prints is in the fine amount of details incorporated in the work. As elements are glued or stuck onto the surface board, the depth varies, and each portions, however small or minute, can be printed with ease and definition of the design used. This technique also encourages numerous levels of tonal values and effects due to the depth of the relief and differential inking that results from the collograph plate's highly textured surface. In low relief plates, intaglio can be printed from below the surface with the ink poured in the lower parts of the designed plate by burnishing off the relief portions. As studied in the earlier module, the relief portions are inked and printed at ease. While a unique combination print can be taken using different tones and colors. Hence, many layers can be superimposed upon each other. Because of the variety of depths, intaglio effects can be achieved, along with the relief inking of higher portions and with a deft use of different colors. A tonal gradation can be achieved in this unique technique. Adding to this combinations of relief, intaglio and tonal printing, the subtle changes in viscosity of the inks can drastically produce effects which add and alters the print outputs. Many layers can be superimposed using registration techniques. Many artists prefer to use wood plates about 4 to 6 thick as they are easier to work with and do not bend as easily as cardboard plates. Wood plates are more solid and also last longer than cardboard. However, any base can be used from cardboard to acetate as long as it is not too thick and can have a variety of materials glued onto it. The variety of materials used for calligraphy textures is a wide range and limited to the printmaker's imagination. Materials like paint, glue, leaves, fabric, and almost anything with textures that are flat enough to not rip the paper when it is printed could be used. These very materials would be determining the strengths and tones of inks to be used and would also help in giving variety of textures. Use absorbent materials could create a problem, so it needs to be inked up and printed a few times before the final impression is visible. Using sharp-edged objects on the colograph could be detrimental on the printing paper and the print machine itself. Hence, suitably buffered or smoothened surface can be used. Low relief materials can be glued onto the plate. Collagraphs can pick up final detail, so it is not necessary to have high relief. Thin materials print very well. The depth of masking tape will transfer surface texture and shape when printing. Different surfaces absorb in different ways, and these differences can be exploited to the full. Smooth surfaces can be burnished to remove ink and give subtle tone. Shapes and images can be implied through creative use of contrasting textures and surfaces. Simple, bold arrangements of shapes and textures work well. Abstract qualities creating a surface of great interest and visual effects. Within this technique is the sub-technique called carborundum printmaking. This is a collagraph printmaking technique in which the image is created by adding light passages to the dark fields. Silicon carbide or carborundum grit is applied to the surface of the printing plate either as a paste or powder. It is a relatively new process invented in the US during 1930s that allows artists to work on a large scale. Normally, cardboard or wood plates are coated in the layer of carborundum or screen, and the lights are created by filling in the texture with screen filler or glue. Carborundum was originally used by printmakers to grind down lithography stones and is now used in collagraph prints to create gradients of tone and a sandy texture. It works because when the carborundum adheres to the plate, the ink sits around it. It can be applied in a number of different ways. Painting the plate with a liquid glue and then sprinkling the carborundum onto it. Mixing different amounts of glue with it and then painting them on in sections. The more grit used, the darker. Also using stencils to apply the glue and sprinkling different amounts of carborundum through the different stencils. To print a carborundum print, the surface is covered in ink and then the surface is wiped clean with cloth or newspaper, leaving ink only in the texture of the screen or carborundum. A damp piece of paper is placed on top, and the plate and paper are run through a printing press that, through pressure, transfers the ink from the recesses of the plate to the paper. Very large additions are not possible as a small amount of carborundum comes off every time it is wiped down. Texturizing a plate requires a few innovative ideas and one could use different type of papers such as tissue paper, crepe paper, Japanese paper. This paper can be cut and ripped and glued to cover the design areas. Acrylic paints and acrylic textures also contribute substantially to the surface relief when used, which could be painted or applied using a palette knife or a sponge. Off-print textures can be achieved by directly pasting or gluing the object onto the plate to be embossed in the paper. Fabrics, leaves, threads, rice, and other grains, masking tapes, etc., can be used to create texture. When making an intaglio collagraph print, it is important to note that different material hold onto ink in different ways. So it is useful to mix etching ink with plate oil or extender to loosen the ink, making it easier to wipe and thin the saturated ink color. 50-50 is good to start with and can then be adjusted after proofing. Different materials will require different proportions and each plate is unique. Different inks and percentages will also give different effects. After taking print, it is important to clean the plate with cooking oil, but this will always leave an of an interesting shadow. Different effects can be built up in this way. The plate can be intaglio inked, inked with a roller or paintbrush, or some combination thereof. Ink or pigment is applied to the resulting collage, and the board is used to print onto paper or another material. Here I am telling about an eminent artist, Susie McKenzie. Artist and printmaker Susie McKenzie practices the art of calligraphy in the intaglio technique. She lives in Louth, Helmsdale, Scotland, and works from her studio there. She acquired her graduation from Newcastle and Loughborough universities and a certificate in education from the Open University. Susie employs the intaglio technique to make her highly evocation colograph prints, which reflects the landscape and fauna flora of the Northern Highlands. There is something very rich, lush, and textural about her colograph. Susie's images usually begin as photographs, which she then alters for composition, content, colors, and sometimes additional factors such as perspective using imagination software until the result stands closest to what she is intending for. She then converts the final image into black and white, which is made easier to be turned into a colograph, and reverses it so that the final image will be printed a right way. The reversed image is transferred onto the plate using press down paper. She uses mount boards as the plates or substrates for her calligraphy work. After beveling the edges, she believes that ease of beveled edges helps to glue additions to the plate and tear or peeled into the mount board for texture generation, and it is recycled easily. The construction of a calligraphy plate is dictated by the textures one uses on them and how it prints. Susie uses rough surfaces which would hold ink as she uses the intaglio process. Would print dark and smooth surfaces would be wiped clean, hence barely make any impression at all. With bound board, the unaltered surface prints in the mid-tone when the top layer or two is cut and peeled away using a scalpel. A rougher surface is revealed that will print dark. To get a complete range of tones, Suzy also applies PVA glue or adhesive tape, which prints light, and for a dense black, fine carborundum grit or sandpaper. Other textures Suzy likes to apply include the use of handmade papers with inclusion, but more or less anything flat enough that can be adhered to the plate and put through the press without damaging it can be used, including fabrics and plant material. In fact, the very slightest edge will hold ink and print, from accidents like fingerprints on wetting to stray cat hair. Suzy works into the plate cutting and peeling and applying cut shapes of different textures using photo spray mount, trying to match textures, and she knows how they will print to the tone in the original. Lines and other marks are also scored or cut into the plate and its textures. Suzy takes frequent rubbing from the plate using newsprint and a thick graphite pencil which gives her some idea to how the composition is working, never forgetting that this gives a reversed image. When she is satisfied, she seals the plate with dilute PVA glue, which adheres to the various elements on the plate together. And then this is dried with a coat of spray polyurethane varnish. This stops the ink from soaking into the plate and makes it easy to clean. She leaves it for 2 days for drying before printing. Using the intaglio method, Suzy inks up with extended etching ink, often one color, Persian blue in her case, depending upon the subject of the print. She then wipes off the plate with scrap or cloth. The print is taken using a high pressure etching press and dampened paper. This process forces the paper into the cut lines and textures to pick up the ink left after wiping and also renders the textures used in making the plate. The damp prints are then stretched on boards with their edges dipped so that they dry flat. Finally, each dry print is signed, titled and numbered, most with the designation VE, showing that it is from a varied edition. Susie makes very small varied editions from her plates, rarely as many as 10 and often as few as 3. This is partly because the plates begin to degrade relatively quickly under pressure from the press, but also because she likes to experiment with different techniques, pipings, colors, and additions. Each print she makes is a step in the learning process, and Susie McKenzie is always looking forward to applying what she has discovered to the next. Susie holds workshops and teaches calligraphy to pupils or students interested in printmaking. Susie McKenzie lives and works in Scotland. Safety and precautions. Rubber cement, a common adhesive used with collagraphs, is extremely flammable, and most rubber cement and their thinners contain the solvent and hexane, which can cause damage to the peripheral nervous system, hand, arms, legs, feet from chronic inhalation. Epoxy glues can cause skin and eye irritation and allergies. The solvents could cause hazards as they are used in adhesives. Spraying fixatives on the back of collagraph plates to seal them can involve risk the inhalation of the solvent containing spray mist. The standing collagraph plates, which have been treated with acrylic modeling compounds or similar materials, can involve inhalation of irritating dust. A wide variety of other materials with varying toxicities can be used in making collagraph plates. Know the hazards of material used. Obtain the MSDs from the manufacturer. Number 8. Use the least toxic materials available. In particular, use water-based glues and mediums. For example, acrylic medium whenever possible. Some rubber cement are made with the solvent heptane, which is less toxic than an hexane, primarily because peripheral neuropathy is not associated with its use. Number 9, use dilution ventilation, for example, window exhaust fan, with small amounts of solvent and large amounts of acrylic medium due to the presence of a small amount of ammonia. For highly toxic solvents or large amounts of solvents or other toxic chemicals, use local exhaust ventilation, for example, slot hood and closed hood, etc. A window exhaust fan can be used if set up only 1 to 2 feet away. Number 10. Use spray fixatives in a spray booth that exhausts to the outside or outdoors. Number 11. Wear gloves when using epoxy glues. 12. Wear a NOISH approved toxic dust respirator when sending colograph blades. Do not eat or drink close to work area to prevent accidental ingestion. Once the bits and portions of the texture papers and cloths are fixed into position and dry, apply an oil resistant coat in sample texture white over it. Clean hands thoroughly after working using baby oil, soap, and water or a non-toxic hand cleaner such as Gozo. Keep work area clean and organized. Notify your professor about any health condition or medication that may affect you in the classroom. Keep tools sharp, store them safely, and always cut away from yourself. In advance, locate the nearest first aid box. Leave it to dry completely for 2 or 3 hours. Apply N on top of block by roller. Most important to note for this process is that a damp paper is used for intaglio printing techniques. Make a final registration on the machine. Take the final print on the final paper. Take the adhesion on the paper